They were the most dysfunctional, successful team of all time. The story of Bastard's team during the Isagi Kaiser era was a fascinating clash of egos, filled with insults, PTSD, and even physical altercations. But despite wanting to kill each other most of the time, they made it work, pushing each other back and forth to make them stronger while forming the most dominant team in Blue Lock's history, going absolutely flawless against the world's best. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and yeah, let's hop into it. After the events of the U20 game, Isagi becomes a hero, saving Block as it moves on to its next phase, the Neo-Egoist League. The boys were able to pick one of the 5 countries to play on their U20 team to learn and study with, and Isagi picks Germany because that's where Noah, his hero and the world's best striker, plays. While we see their first trial is this insane obstacle course, and bro, what is this? It's like 500 meters wide, long, and tall, and are those floating platforms? Serious question, but do they just like die if they fall here? This is some have you ever trained with your life in the line type shit. But regardless, he makes it all the way to the obstacle course, and right as he tries to take the final shot on target, a mysterious man appears shooting a piss missile straight into his ball, making him miss. My name's Kaiser, and I do the impossible. On your damn knees, Blue Lock. And here's where we figure out this guy is part of the new generation 11, the 11 up and coming best young players around the world. The last one we saw was Sai Itoshi, who is magnitudes better than anyone in Blue Lock while hardly trying. But before Isagi can even think, we meet the German players, and these guys seem like they are chromosome maxing with how weird they are. And while Isagi is stun locked, Kaiser comes from behind, grabbing him by the chin and tells him he came all this way just to meet him and that he better not disappoint. Obviously Isagi throws him off, but this is some weird grooming behavior, and once again he aggressively grabs his hands while getting in his face, saying, give me a reason not to feel like coming here was a waste of time. I want you to get in the way of my life. And yeah, this is more or less where we realize this guy is actually batshit insane. While Isagi's over here just saying that this guy pisses him off. I feel like my initial thoughts would be more aligned with scared than angry. Feels like you gotta lock your doors at night with this creature lurking in the darkness. Just like you asked, I'm gonna destroy your life. Good. That face just now is so good. It looks good on you. Give me a handkerchief, monkey. Hey, what's Yoichi Isagi's title? Let's see. Until I take my place on stage as the world's best striker, for now I'm stuck in this joke of an interlude called Blue Lock. You guys are the circus animals that provide some entertainment. When I take the stage, that makes Yoichi a pathetic clown who thought he was the star. Yeah, this guy's actually insane. I know it's not as crazy because it's like fiction, but imagine meeting someone in real life and they say this shit to you. Wild. And listen, I know I've made this joke in other videos, but I just gotta say it. Why is he biting his lip in this panel? Super questionable, but whatever. That's their first interaction with one another, and you can already tell the sparks are flying. Now, unfortunately for Isagi, you will only be put in the starting 11 if you have good enough stats. But because of Kaiser fucking up his shot, he's in dead last place. So, because of his new foe, he must start game 1 on the bench to see what the hype around Kaiser is even about. Now with the first match starting, we have Bastard taking on FC Barcha. The first play starts and the ball eventually goes to Kunigami, who throws, going for a solo play just to miss. I just love Kaiser's face here. A mix of confusion and utter disgust. Barcha gets the loose ball and scores, making the score 0-1. Also, I guess I didn't mention it, but these are short matches where the first team to 3 wins. But with that, the next play starts and it's finally time to see what this arrogant emperor can do. Kaiser passes to Ness, the midfielder, while sprinting in and out of the defense, creating pass courses. And while analyzing Kaiser, he realizes he hasn't even wasted a moment. Acting as a lure, staying in position to receive the ball, breaking through to a shot course, his distance from his allies. Maybe it's just because I aim for such a rational playstyle that I can sense it so strongly. But Kaiser's movements seem to be the perfect embodiment of my ideal playstyle. And while he's busting in his pants over Kaiser, Ness launches the ball cross map to him. Batra runs in trying to stop him, but he just puts his hand out blocking him. Damn, that didn't even fluster him? What incredible judgment ability. He put himself in position to receive the ball while simultaneously guarding. A direct shot? No. He made it look that way and shook off the last defender with that amazing trap. He's perfect. And then when he lands, he just needs to create a shot course. Then like lightning, he moves his legs so fast they can't even react to it as he equalizes the point back. And our guy Isagi is freaking out to himself at how insane this guy is as a player. He's a genius. He's different from Batra and Nagi or Rin. He's a genius, like a logical extension of my abilities. He's achieved my ideal. No, he's already surpassed it. Kaiser Impact, a shot that focuses all of his body's leverage into his right leg that's unmatched in terms of the speed of his kicks. In that regard, he surpasses even me. And this is where we learn why Kaiser is in the new generation 11, being able to move around the field with zero waste, seemingly perfect soccer IQ, and then finally an overwhelming weapon which surpasses strength and speed of even Noah. Isagi is seemingly significantly worse than Kaiser in every regard, so how could he even hope to compete against this guy? Well, fear not, as we get our answer real quick as Isagi finally gets subbed onto the field. Ikimiya starts crying because his stats were better and asks why he gets subbed on before him. And Noah says, fan service. The world wants Yuichi Isagi. You're fucking goddamn right we do. And now with Isagi in the field, he can finally show them what he's made of. But sadly, within 30 seconds, he throws by trying to interfere with Noah and Livino's clash. Hey now, Yuichi. That was a rough point, little clown. You're nowhere near the level needed to get between those two. And as sad as it is to say for my GOAT, Kaiser is right and Isagi was being brain dead here. But Isagi realizes his issue is that he idolizes Noah and Kaiser for their skills. He needs to turn his admiration to an objective and will try to devour the superstars. Then Noah quickly scores a solo goal back, and now with a score of 2-2. This is Isagi's last chance to prove himself as a valuable asset to the team. Because as we all remembered, numbers and results mean everything. If he doesn't help to score here, he will be subbed off the team, probably never to start again. So in a crazy act of desperation, he flies in, stealing the pass Ness gave to Kaiser. He's too far to shoot as now fully immersed in the flow state of this goal, dribbles past Batra, getting ready for the assist. Oh? Trying to assist Kaiser? He came to boost his numbers by assisting. Good boy, Yuichi. Bow to me. Keep running your mouth, monkey. Why the hell would I ever pass to you? And we see him cross the ball to the only other Blue Lock member on the field, Kunigami. With an absolute piss mouse on the top left of the net to score, the third goal has been secured, and Isagi has proven that he can stand on the same field as the superstars while also defying Kaiser's rule. Batra starts congratulating Isagi in his goal while Kaiser's little minion Ness comes in to shit talk him, but Kaiser quickly stops him. That won't do, Ness. You gotta say sorry when you're wrong. Sorry, Yuichi. I misjudged you. You're no clown at all. Let's give you a better part. If Kunigami is the barbaric bandit leader who steals someone's achievement, then you're a subordinate. Flunky A. In that case, I'll give you a role, Kaiser. How about the naked emperor who has everything stolen by me? Yeah, I genuinely don't even know what the fuck Isagi thought he was saying at this moment. Why are you talking about another man being naked to his face? I have no idea. Now, in this first game, all Kaiser really did was show the gap in their skills and give Isagi the motivation to try and come for the throne. But neither one of them really got any stronger in this match. But that will change shortly in this next upcoming game where the rivalry really pushes Isagi to evolve. Now, before the next game, Isagi's thinking back to how utterly powerless he was compared to the top dogs in the soccer world and decides it'll be best to try to aim for the midpoint between him and Noah, which, you know, is Kaiser. So in this next match, he will study him to see how he plays. Now, before the match, Noah is talking to them about this team's new play style and philosophies. Currently, this team has two philosophies. First is an extremely rational style that uses Kaiser as this team's finisher. And the second is the Blue Lock style, which triggers chemical reactions by means of all-out egotism. Let's call it an E or be Ian situation. I want to see how this team will evolve when the prevailing let Kaiser score style blends with Blue Lock's philosophy. And with that, the second game of the Neo-Egoist League between Bastard and Manshine City is about to begin. Once more, just like the last match, we start the game down by 1 as Chigiri gets the ball to instantly score. Yoichi, is that redhead an old friend? He's good. He's tough, fast, and above all, beautiful. He's outstanding. I can't wait to crush him. If you keep dawdling, I might just lose interest in you. And in an attempt to embarrass Isagi, Kaiser passes him the ball just to watch him make a fool of himself. If you don't do a funny dance, the crowd won't care about you. He's looking down on me. Damn it. I swear I'll make you regret this pass, Kaiser. But unlike the last match, Isagi now has one extra person on the field willing to help him in Corona. They start tearing down the field together as they make their way all the way to the end of the field. And right before Isagi shoots the final ball, Kaiser comes flying in, stealing it, not letting him score. This guy mogs him in every way possible. And now on top of that, he's also making Isagi fight against the entire team and himself. The cliff is getting higher and higher for our guy to scale. But later, Kaiser gets the ball and finally realizes if he ever wants to beat this guy, he needs to try to just study him. Time to start analyzing. Kaiser is always well within Ness's passing zone, and he's running a route that's vexing for the defense. His steps let him get behind their center of gravity, and that timing lets them make perfect passes. But then he passes right back in a blink of an eye. I can understand it, but can I do it myself? No. Next thought. He's almost at the goal, so I'll probably go where there are fewer players. But much to his surprise, Kaiser is just monkeying forward towards the entire defense. He's going straight ahead? Why is he charging right into the middle of all of them? Damn. I can't wrap my head around this one. What is he visualizing? And we see Kaiser spinning his head around, getting a full picture view of everything on the field. What the way he's using his eyes. He's not even looking at the ball. No. To be more precise, he's turning his head to take in the full picture. Rather than focusing on the ball, he's expanding his field of view to take in. Oh. Is that what he's thinking? While we see 5 defenders appear right in front of him, plus the goalie. And with the tiny ass crack of space he's given, he shoots a lightning speeded shot in between all of them, equalizing the goal back. Kaiser impact isn't it. This is what I have to devour. This big bang piece will set me on the path to becoming the world's best. What I really need to focus on is his thought process. How did Kaiser reach and find that spot faster than anyone else? Without a doubt, the answer lies in how he uses his eyes. Human eyes have 2 types of vision, the type that perceives something by focusing on it, central vision, and the low resolution blurry imagery outside the central vision, peripheral vision. It's said in soccer it's of vital importance of how each player uses their peripheral vision to sort out information about players and the ball from the chaos of each moment. If you use central vision to focus solely on the ball, you'll get less information and will end up being too slow to assess the situation around you. But he's probably using peripheral vision almost constantly to give himself endless stream of information. Wait, so Kaiser's been doing this the entire match? For 90 whole minutes? Is that even possible? No. But if I could do it, I could become a god. Tell me, Yuichi, did you have fun stalking me? Or did you comprehend my plays and now you're at a loss of words from despair? Nah. Thank you, Kaiser. All I can see is the hope of crushing you. And now with this new piece he learned from Kaiser in the form of a metavision, he instantly becomes 500 times smarter as he perfectly reads the opponent's play, stealing the ball from Nagi. And Isagi is straight busting a load in his pants about how much better he is now. By reading everything on the field constantly, he has an infinite information. And with his already high soccer IQ, he is rolling past everyone with Corona before bursting right in front of the goal. But just like before, Kaiser comes flying in trying to cuck his shot. You're something else, Yoichi. Welcome to my dimension. Kaiser? You damn nuisance! As Isagi randomly bombs the ball through his legs, going for a miracle shot. As right as it's about to miss, Kunigami jumps into the air, hitting a crazy volley shot, making the score now 2-1. And as you could probably surmise, he is not too happy with Kaiser messing that up. Aw, you shouldn't have shot Yuichi. You should have just let me steal it like a good boy. Plus, you didn't really have an angle to shoot it between my legs. You just kind of kicked the ball into the middle of nowhere. You sure love making assists, huh? I'll crush you, Kaiser. Oh? I'll fucking kill you even if it's the last thing I do. God damn, I have never seen this guy so pressed in my life. And once again, rightfully so, as Kaiser monkeyed in messing up his shot. Devour Kaiser. Devour Kaiser. Put everything I have in the line. Devour. Kill. Y'all know I love Isagi, but this has to be one of the goofiest lines I've ever seen in my life. Nagi scores the next goal, as we all remember, and Isagi's thinking about how to beat him. First, I acquired metavision, which boosted the scope and level of my plays, but that wasn't enough to beat Kaiser. I'm not as fast or controlled as him, and above all else, I don't have his Kaiser impact. I want to use my direct shot, but if Kaiser's seeing the same things as me, he'll just catch up and try to stop me. Or in other words, I can't beat him in the same dimension. I need at least one piece that surpasses him. The play continues until eventually Isagi gets the ball ready to end the match, when out of nowhere, Yukimiya runs in, stealing the ball. And we basically find out he's just butthurt and jealous of Isagi's accomplishments, and it drove him mad to the point where he tried to solo score a goal. Obviously, he misses horribly, and Isagi has a few choice words for him. Hey, monkey fuck, what do you think you're doing? I would have scored if he didn't steal it. Oh my god. Listen up, shitter. Team up with me. With me as the nucleus, Corona on the right, and you on the left, we can probably score. And if that happens, it'll be an assist for you, which will carry over to the next match. That has the highest probability of success, and is our most realistic option, right? Realistic? Probability? I don't live as shrewdly as you do. I'm gonna die alongside my own goals. This is a trial that I will overcome. You say that, but how are you gonna score with Noah, Chris, Kaiser, and I on the field? This isn't a place where you can get away with such a self-centered story. If you can't stop acting so stubborn, it'll all end for you here. Working with me is clearly the best option. Just like that, you devour other people's stories. But you're only thinking about how you'll be the best in the end, right? I can finally see it, Isagi. You're the same kind of self-serving shithead as Kaiser. If only shrewd bastards like you two get rewarded, then this world is seriously messed up. At a time like this, you're still having such childish thoughts? I, for one, don't want to live in the same world as masturbatory narcissists like you. So keep dreaming all alone while you drown your sinking ship. shit was so raw, bro. And now for our final play of the match, Isagi starts flying down the field as Noah comes to back him up. He sees so many passes to the goal but doesn't know which one to pick, but Noah asks him, what is the number one thing he wants in this moment? I want to beat Kaiser. They start tearing through the field, dodging the enemy team and Kaiser himself. And right before getting to the net, Yukimiya runs in trying to steal the ball. Go Isagi already accounted for that though, shattering his ankle, sending him to the defenders to give himself the final opening. But last second, Kaiser flies in at the final moment of the game, blocking him. Did you see a goal in your future, Yuichi? Your weapon is your direct shot, right? Which means if I mess up your stance and trap the ball, your talent dies. Look, Yuichi, your climax is getting ruined by me. Yeah, Kaiser, you're perfect. If you hadn't come, I would have been the hero. But since you came, the one I left sunken in darkness is coming back from the brink of death as he passes back to Bum Kimia. Did you imagine this last pass, Kaiser? My challenge was to beat you at anything at all. This choice is my best piece right now. It's guiding me to the flow. Tell me, Kaiser, how does it feel to be the clown in my story? Holy shit! One of the best manga panels in history right here. And with that, Yukimiya scores, winning Bastard of the game with a score of 3-2. I'll acknowledge you, Yuichi. Back there, in that one moment, your thinking was a step ahead of mine. This match was yours, but we're both strikers, right? So let's settle this with actual goals. Unfortunately, Isagi fucking dies, but yeah, after game 2, Bastard has become even stronger because Kaiser pushed Isagi to learn metavision, actually giving Kaiser a proper rival. But even saying that, he still hasn't really been pushed that much himself. But now in this next game, Isagi will definitely force Kaiser to acknowledge him, forcing an evolution from the opposing side. Real quick, guys, just want to let you guys know I do have a Patreon where I am reacting to the block manga. Konigami fucking saved it! So if that sounds interesting, check it out. We cut back to Kaiser watching back the footage of the last match where he asked Ness, why did he come to block in the first place? Well, it was to prove you're not inferior to Noah, or to exploit the Neo-Egoist League system to steal yourself a better offer, so you can leave Bastard. Right. This team belongs to Noah. No matter how much I struggle, this team is based around him. In my current state, I can't become the world's best striker in this team. So, I came to this league to improve my brand, and the clown I found to help with that has grown beyond my expectations. If I can take down Yuichi, then my name will resound throughout the world. You're finally ripe for the plucking. And now Kaiser is finally fully fired up at the idea of completely demolishing his own teammate and taking all the glory for himself. But cutting to the side of Isagi, he's hyped, thinking to himself about the new level he's reached. But he still realizes that even with this new ability, his chances of beating Kaiser are only about 40%. I think that's enough for you to beat Kaiser. No, not yet. There's no point unless my theory has a 100% chance of victory. And while thinking about it, the solution finally hits him as he runs off to test his new theory. What it is, we will see shortly, as we will now cut to before our team's third match. Our offensive patterns rely on the two axes of Kaiser and Isagi, so you can bet they'll try to thoroughly crush these two. Whichever one of you can overcome that in this match will become this team's king. The time has come to test your new theory, Isagi. If you're a striker, then prove it with goals. Don't forget, we're competing over actual goals. Don't run away, Yuichi. Same to you, prince shit. And with that, we start our third match in the series. Play starts while a more serious than usual Kaiser bolts down the field before this match's Joker appears in the form of Don Lorenzo, another new Gen 11 player who's the world's best U20 center back. So on top of fighting between one another, they also have to try and break through the best defensive player in the world. Ubers tears down the field as right when he passes to Barrow for the kill shot, Goat Soggy comes flying in, stealing it. Obviously, with his new power of metavision, he mogs everyone making it to the goal before Kaiser's minion Ness flies in trying to block him. Yoichi, based on your data, your direct shot is a faulty move that can only be made with your right leg. So if I do this to throw off your axis, at least you powerless. Yeah, that would work on the old me. As a surprise to everyone watching, Isagi hits an insane left-footed direct shot. And here's where we get the flashback to his eureka moment during the training we saw a minute ago. He realized his main weapon's weak point is he can only shoot with his right foot and not his left. And because Kunigami learned how to be ambidextrous, he figured he'd ask him for help. Then, Barrow scores an equalizer, and we cut back to Kaiser getting frustrated over Lorenzo marking him. That shithead keeps getting in my way. Lorenzo. He's even better than the last time I played him. Thanks to him, I have even less freedom than I expected. What should we do, Kaiser? Stupid Lorenzo is being a real pain. Damn. Shit. At this rate, Yuichi's gonna score again. Be quiet, dog. You're the one who's shit. Don't let your puny brain lose control of your emotions. Just keep doing like we practiced. I'm not asking you to be creative. Just have faith. Nothing's impossible for me. The throw-in happens to Ness, and out of nowhere, Monkey Gami comes flying in, stealing the ball, sending the play into disarray. He dribbles down the field, obviously losing the ball. When trying to score, though, IQ blocks off his path, and when all hope looks lost for Isagi, Yukimiya appears at his side, giving him a pass course. Then from the depths, Kaiser appears, stealing the pass, and then hits fucking arguably the best goal in the entire series with an overhead ricochet nutmeg bullet shot, bringing the score now to 2-1. Ness comes flying in, meat gobbling his king before Kaiser quickly tells him to shut his bitch ass up. That goal was a trick, as you so stupidly explained with that idiotic face. That was the only way I had to get Lorenzo off my back and score. Yeah, but it was one of your amazing goals. Are you taunting me? You think I'd celebrate a hyena goal I made thanks to Yoichi? There's no denying Isagi was that goal's main dish. I cannot forgive myself for scoring a goal like that, but we promised we'd compete over goals in this match. It's disappointing, but we each have one now, and I'll be the one to get the final point. But Isagi's over here actually getting excited, realizing he's now fully in this guy's head, and he's now enough of a threat that he cannot ignore. Baro scores another equalizer, and the score is now 2-2. The next goal wins the game, and based on the team's data, the next best player is Jin Kiora. But Isagi quickly tells no, they can't win with that. And to beat Ubers at this point will require the match's next game changer. So Isagi tells him to sub in the GOAT femboy Hiyori so he can become this match's hero. No way. That childlike emotional reasoning doesn't suit you, Yoichi. I'll only accept rational theories. If we had another player who could take a bird's eye view of the field, then they could anticipate Isagi's moves and support him. That would reduce his thinking time and increase our play speed. To our opponents, it would feel like playing against two Isagis. I think that's a pretty rational plan for dealing with the current Ubers. I'll become Isagi's shadow. And with that, Noah reluctantly lets them do it, but tells Isagi that if it doesn't work, he'll be off the starting lineup. But Goat Sagi doesn't care as he agrees to that challenge. And they go back and forth for a few minutes with Isagi and Kaiser both failing different attacks until at the end of the match, they pull out the miracle doing a no-look pass between Hiyori and Isagi, giving him the final goal of the game, having Isagi officially beat Kaiser for the first time. We see the usually calm and composed Kaiser absolutely snap as for the first time ever, screeching, mauling to himself. And they eventually show us all the new players' rankings. And we see Kaiser got a club offer from Real, the strongest club team in the world. And if you remember a minute ago, that was his goal he mentioned. Ness comes in to meet right again, but Kaiser does not give a fuck. Ness, you fat fuck monkey. Who cares about 320 million? Who cares about Real? Right now, I'm just shitty trash below Yoichi's level. Just look at this guy. I remember a few matches ago, he was max bravado, bullying Isagi around, and now he's pushed Isagi to become a monster even stronger than he himself. We cut before their final match, and Hiyori's reading comments from social media of people calling Isagi and Kaiser immature because if they just put their differences aside, they could be the world's strongest duo. Isagi starts full tweaking at the idea, but you know, they aren't wrong. And who knows, we may even get to see that in the next match. But before that, we cut to Ness checking up on Kaiser, and this guy's choking himself out on the floor near death. Hey Ness, I saw it. It came to me. A new back from the brink weapon that will plunge Yoichi into despair. And we see because of Isagi's ass-to-belt performance in the last game, it made this guy tweak so hard to the point he nearly ended himself to have a light bulb moment figuring out how to become stronger. We see our cast watching France's match versus Spain to do enemy recon in their team, and here's where we find out they have a Rin system and a Shido system that they switch every 15 minutes to give both strikers a chance. And they inevitably diddle Spain to be the other team going 3-0, so now the stage is set to see which team will be crowned strongest of them all. We see in the French locker room, Loki, their master, talk about Bastard's team. They're an outstanding team, which, like us, remain undefeated. And true to his nature, Noah is making use of both Michael Kaiser and Yoichi Isagi. By forcing their two teams to coexist and compete, it's an irregular and perverse system. In our case, we have the Rin and Shido systems, which switch, but in any case, the perverse way is far more interesting. So in the next match, PXG will have Rin and Shido coexist and intercept the enemy with our own irregular and perverse formation. So get excited, folks, as we enter our craziest game yet. Both teams are going back and forth band for band, but no one can make any ground before Shido shatters through on the world stage, scoring the first goal of the match. And he even scores the same level of super goal Isagi scored at the end of the Ubers game. And this is where Isagi realizes that because of everyone playing at such a high level, the only goals possible are those born from a collision of peak performances. And he says if they're using an ultimate X ultimate chemical reaction, then they'll just have to produce a triple ultimate performance chemical reaction. First, Hiyori finally beats Charles on a 1-1 to hit his peak. Then he passes, which Isagi predicts running away from the ball, confusing everyone as Kunigami jumps in the air, surpassing Shido, now hitting his peak performance, when the ball finally goes to Isagi, and it's his turn. When out of nowhere on both sides of Isagi, Rin and Kaiser appear to stop him. What do I do? Don't freeze up, brain. I feel like I'll still touch the ball just before him. Shoot, Isagi. I'll cut off your shot course. Trap it, Yoichi. I'll swipe it away and score. Shoot? Trap? My right leg or my left? No. Right here and now I'll devise a new invention as he fakes with his left leg in mid-air, hitting his ultimate performance as well as shooting with his right. Literally the greatest shot in the entire series, and it just leaves Rin and Kaiser stun locked. And just look, they are falling apart at the seams, tweaking. Then after hitting the shot of the century, Noah decides that the Isagi central tactics are their best bet when he subs out another random Kaiser minion, now leaving him completely isolated with only him and Ness. You know, as we would expect, our boy Kaiser is not taking this news too well. Yoichi's having an awakening. If he can master such an obliterating shot, his value as a striker will skyrocket. He's gonna take over this team. Am I gonna lose? Me? To Yoichi? And with the next play starting, Kaiser steals the ball and get a flashback to that new hidden weapon he hinted at a few minutes ago, the Magnus effect. By hitting the ball at a certain angle, it gives off insane speed, creating a monstrous banana shot. Only problem is he can only pull it off when the ball is standing completely still. To use this in an actual game with the ball moving is a different story altogether. Cutting back to the game, he sees an opening, but when he takes the shot, it misses horribly. Kaiser messed up a shot? I can't believe I'm seeing him in this state. And this guy is falling apart like I have never seen before. Because of Isagi, all the bravado has been fully washed away and his insecurities and weakness are shining through. Everything I gained by winning is being stolen and destroyed. At this rate, Kaiser, you get it, right? This team isn't yours anymore. Kneel to me, you fucking clown. This shit is so vile. I've never seen someone drop from the top to such rock bottom until this moment. And this guy's PTSD flashbacks to his abusive father beating him because of how hard Isagi's diddling him. The whole world is watching this match. A loss now isn't just a loss. The offer from Real and my throne in the team. All the glory I've gained through soccer. If I lose, then Yoichi will crush it, and I'll go back to the time when I wasn't human. Am I freaking out? Am I afraid of losing my current self and going back to when I was a piece of shit? Nobody wanted me to be born, so I stole and stole to gain status, prestige, and wealth. But the thought of losing all of it scares me. This is the mental pitfall of those with success. At some point, I stopped trying to steal and started fighting to protect myself. I chose opponents I could defeat and made myself comfortable where I could reign as a king with the defensive instincts of someone successful, trying to live in a semi-permanent state of safety. And why not? I won and stole that seat for myself, so there was no need to do anything to shake my proof of existence. But the place I'm in still isn't at the level of world's best, so I've got no choice but to throw it all away. That feeling that I'd become human, this glory, my status or pride, all of it. Peel it away and go back to zero. It's with this new awakening he is willing to throw away his pride, passing to other Blue Lock members. This shocks literally everyone in the field, including Isagi. This is a turning point between the destruction and reconstruction of my identity. Don't expend time and energy on a defensive battle. Offer up everything to updating myself. It's your fault I'm able to think this way, Yoichi. For stealing my freedom, fucking thank you. And now with Kaiser passing to the other players, it will be even harder to predict the outcome as they now have two super weapons in Kaiser Impact and the two-gun volley. This is the first time the destructive power is starting to resonate. When finally the ball goes to Kiora, who has both Kaiser and Isagi open for the pass, he launches it to Isagi, but it has crazy backspin in it as it flies back to Kaiser breaking through. But this time the ball stands perfectly still, just like his practice. And he smashes it, giving the ball extraordinary curvature, letting him score the goal, which will let him be reborn. Holy shit. He's a superstar. Yoichi. Right now, I'm giving myself chills in the best possible way. I've been reborn. No. I feel like a butterfly that's been emerged from its cocoon. Now then, until we settle this with one more goal, let's battle each other for this generation's throne. And yeah, since the first match, these two hating on each other has pushed them both to wild new heights they could have never achieved on their own, making their bastard team nearly unkillable. But now, there is one more piece to this puzzle that can send our boys into chaos and disarray. Now, before our bastard team wins this match, they have to get past the final wall known as Itoshi Rin, the prodigy younger brother of Sai Itoshi. And just like Kaiser, he's Isagi's rival, and the pressure of being pushed back against the wall has forced him to rapidly evolve just like Kaiser, entering his destroyer mode. In this mode, he basically becomes a god of football as he flies down the field, eviscerating everyone in his way, and as he can take the shot, he pauses because in his mind it wasn't good enough, so he resets the play. And in real life, if you did some shit like this, your coach would have a heart attack on the bench and he'd be subbed out for life. He resets the play when finally making it to the net. Isagi tries stopping him by slamming into him, but while colliding, he hits a free kick in mid-air over the cluster of players, banging it perfectly top right of the net. Genuinely a top 3 goal of the series. But now, folks, we've reached the crescendo of the arc with the current score of 2-2. Next goal here will win the Neo-Egoist League and become this generation's hero. Loki and Noah decide to sub in, and after watching his ungodly speed, he calls him a genius before actually taking a step back and deciding what is even a genius. Up until now, I automatically thought of anyone amazing as a genius, but after just witnessing Loki's speed, I feel like just labeling him a genius doesn't cover it. Regardless of how much logic I've accumulated, is a genius just someone who can transcend all that with their unimaginable plays? In that case, Rin is absolutely on the level of a genius. The same is true for Noah. Then, what am I? Noah, what should I do? What can I do in this situation? Bring me a winning theory. Didn't I say that before, Yuichi Isagi? I'm only interested in those who seek to best me. I feel nothing from you right now. Oh, so that's it. Geniuses aren't logical. They fascinate people by living however they want and naturally become centers of the soccer world. In that case, I'm no genius. I'm just someone who only continuously adapts to them. I'm just a talented learner. If all I can do is just brush up my talent, then can I ever hope to win against the geniuses? I mean, this is always how I fought. I use my brain and eyes to read the enemy's movements and to get one step ahead of everyone else. I've won using logic, so I'm not special. Anyone could imagine these things. I developed my direct shot weapon through persistent effort and made it my own one step at a time. That was enough until now. I managed to just scrape by with my average talent, but from here on, is it just a zone of geniuses that make up the world's best strikers? Physical abilities beyond anything I ever imagined? Incomprehensible impulses to score goals? Unhuman philosophies. I'm just a talent that's going to disappear here. In the end, what I'm doing can all be explained logically. My power of imagination won't let me survive what lies ahead. I want to beat Rin. I want to beat the best in the world, but I can't imagine myself winning. He thinks to himself that between him and them lies an unsurpassable genetic wall of talent. But out of nowhere, Kaiser yells the same shit Isagi's just thinking, which shocks him because he assumed he was a genius as well. And after breaking it down and giving it a lot of thought, he realizes geniuses aren't superior to talented learners. They instead are just different, spurring each other on endlessly to get stronger. With this newfound clarity, he thinks back to when Kaiser really started becoming effective in this match. He became effective once he dropped his fixations on me. So I must also do the same. The rivalry I feel towards Rin, my malice towards Kaiser, and my admiration for Noah. I've dropped those. So now what's left for me? I wanted to win. Isn't that right, Yoichi Isagi? And now fully awakened, Isagi cuts Rin off before he shoots the final goal of the game. Rin shoots thinking he's won, but Isagi puts himself in the supporting role to let Kaiser barely block the shot, saving the team. He realizes it'll all be for naught if he loses, so he thought of himself as a pawn for the best possible outcome. I'll sell my soul to achieve victory. And with this new mindset, he realizes the way they can finally take down Rin. Kaiser. Let's team up. You and I can end this Neo-Egoist League together. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, after being pushed to the brink, Isagi has decided to put all of his feelings and hatred to the side to team up with Kaiser and ultimately achieve victory. Even if we were to team up like you say, then who gets to score the last goal? Let's do it fairly. We'll go with whatever is the most logical path to victory. In other words, luck. After we make the basic passes that logic allows, whoever has the ball in the last moment will score. I see. But to do that, any personal feelings or emotions would just be noise. Right. A mutual condition. From this point on, we'll abandon our egos and become machines built for victory. This is the only way for guys like us to surpass the geniuses. Right? And after a speech that would make Optimus Prime proud, they decide to put their differences aside to work together. Rin takes the ball downfield, but now with the power of these two fully resonating with one another, they easily disarm Rin and tear down the field. They sadly can't score, but it takes everything PXG has to stop them. Rin and Cheeto try teaming up, and for a second time now trying to score, and once again, he gets dick slapped by these two. The seemingly unstoppable Rin Itoshi is now fodder in the face of this duo. Your teamwork is too shallow. Just like how we can't become special by pulling off your genius moves, you geniuses can't beat us talented learners when it comes to logical coordination. Keep playing crazy soccer, You damn geniuses will never outsmart us. They keep going back and forth, but eventually, as we all remember, Isagi adapts past the limit, scoring his team the final goal, becoming the Neo Egoist League champion. So from start to finish, both Isagi and Kaiser proved that they were the absolute strongest duo in Blue Lock's history, going absolutely undefeated and completely and utterly eviscerating any team or player who tried to stand in their way. The way Kaneshiro wrote this arc with these two absolutely hating each other, but having them push each other to become stronger, then eventually teaming up to win, was actually peak cinema. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this story style video. We could like and subscribe. Once again, thanks to Yuri for being in the special grade tier of our Patreon, and yeah, see you guys on the next one. Peace.